orally or verbally. Which is correct / better to state? He was orally informed. Or he was verbally informed. What determines when it is suitable to use either, i.e., verbally or orally?
Verbally comes from Latin verbum, word. Its adjective form verbal is often used in the sense of spoken, and contrasted with written. Orally comes from late Latin orales, which comes from Latin os, mouth. It means by mouth. Like verbally, orally is sometimes used in the sense of spoken. From grammarist.com. English authorities have traditionally urged against using verbal in reference to spoken things, for example, verbal oral communications, verbal oral reports, and verbal oral warnings. But verbal is increasingly used in these phrases, perhaps in part due to oral's prurient associations. But oral is still a good word, so one does not have to follow the trend toward favoring verbal. Still, using verbal in the newer way is not wrong, as it is sanctioned by common, widespread usage and is by no means new. I think verbally is more suitable though.
Oral is perfectly acceptable in the context by current AME usage. O times RAL RL adjective. 1. By word of mouth, spoken rather than written. They had reached an oral agreement. Synonyms: spoken, verbal, unwritten, vocal, uttered, said, by mouth, viva voce. An oral agreement. Also on Odo. Oral equals verbal.
Most of the posts miss an important culture facet of these words' use. Oral generally implies an oral tradition. This means that the information that was spoken happened between trusting parties, and the communication carries certain responsibilities. Receiving oral communication generally implies a privileged status within a group. It is exclusive. Verbally generally is used to specify the mode of communication, as to differentiate it from written communication, which may include a structured format, like slides or cards. Because of the differentiation, the term can sometimes be used to indicate risk, e.g., only verbal and not written, implying lack of paper trail for legal proceedings. In your case, saying he was orally informed implies a warning or other documentation, and so the word verbally is more appropriate.
Verbal/verbally is ambiguous. See the AHD entry at thefreedictionary.com/verbal, and needs context for clarity. Oral/orally connotes dental hygiene, but would not be incorrect here. I'd use he was informed by word of mouth, though it uses more words than your suggestions, and seems rather quirky to one unfamiliar with the expression. It is, in my opinion, the most natural sounding to an Anglophone.
Here's the gram for both. It's interesting that they seem to converge. I guess orally is just as popular nowadays.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.